Hey, everybody, welcome to episode 25 of It's No Secret Podcast Live. We are your hosts, Bianca Rose, Teresa, and Sharis. Say hello, ladies.
Hey, hey.
Hello.
Hola. First and foremost, happy Pride
Happy
Month.
Pride. I love your
We're
background, T.
celebrating. We're
Very festive.
celebrating. Um, shout out to everyone who is watching us live on our YouTube and our Facebook today. Live show, live problems. Shout out to our normal Instagram watchers. Unfortunately, we are unable to go live on Instagram today. Womp, womp, womp.
Technology is great, only when it works.
Only when it works. So for anyone who's out there who's got a friend who usually watches on Instagram, just hit them up real quick. Tell them to hop on YouTube or Facebook. We're still
Yeah,
here.
this is why we have multiple platforms, because if you can't have us one way, you'll have us another.
If you can't have us one way,
You're going to have us.
there's other positions available. No,
Other
just
way
kidding.
to get us. Mm-mm.
All right. Well, again, we are here for episode 25. No guest today, but
No
that's
guests.
all right. That's all right.
How do we feel? I think guests are fun. Broad was a
It was
good
fun.
guest.
It was fun. We've gotten a lot of very positive feedback from that episode, so that's nice. That's
I
always
love
nice.
it.
Yeah.
I think we should get him back, definitely.
Yeah, we will at some point.
Yeah,
Um,
he says he got something to say. That was a nice introduction of Rod, so you might be seeing a lot more of him.
he said he wanted to be a host, is what he said.
Right.
He's trying to get his position. He's trying to get his square on the pod.
Exactly. His square on the pot. Oh, I like that. I'm gonna start using that. But if you have watched any episode of It's No Secret Podcast before, you guys know that we always do our highs and lows. So Bianca, you're starting us off with our lows.
A low.
What was your low for the week?
My low is that I've had like a general overall exhaustion. Like my social battery has just been feeling very low, and I did the stupid thing of just looking back on my calendar because I needed to validate why I was feeling so exhausted. And my social battery, like I've had events happening every single weekend for the past 9 weekends straight.
Oh,
I was off for one weekend that I
yeah.
didn't have anything on my calendar, and then previously another like 7 weeks of like an event. So like just so many things are happening and I'm tired, and I needed to validate myself by looking at that, and it just disappointed me even more. I was like, "Oh God, why do I have to be so social?"
I know. Seriously, you got a life for you. No, I'm just
For
kidding.
you. I couldn't do it.
That's too much peopling for me now.
It is. I don't have the energy.
And we have a job where we have to people a lot too. So
Mhm.
yeah, that's too much peopling for me. Thanks.
Yeah. What about you, T? What's your low for the week?
My low this week was that all day yesterday, I thought it was Wednesday. All
Ugh.
day yesterday,
When that
right?
happens.
Until I got home, essentially, when I was like, oh, it's not Wednesday, right? It's not show day. And then in the morning, because I thought the whole day before was Wednesday, it felt like fucking Groundhog Day today. Because then it was Wednesday. You know what I mean? Like, so I was like, God damn it. This is what I get for,
Would you rather it be a day, like whenever you think it's another day, do you rather it be a day ahead of schedule or a day behind? Like, oh,
like
I
the
thought
day
today
I
was
think.
Wednesday. Do
I
you
I
want it to
would
be after?
rather think like today was Tuesday because then I'm pleasantly surprised when I find out it's Wednesday.
Mm,
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
that makes sense.
Whereas this experience for me that was backwards, I was like, God damn it. Like I feel like I lost a whole day.
No, now I
Like,
feel like I got to do this day all over again, and it
right.
didn't even happen.
Exactly. I was just like, oh man. And honestly, I think I complained about it all day today. I'm pretty sure my coworkers were annoyed by me because I was just like, why is it still Wednesday? It's been Wednesday since yesterday.
Honestly,
Yeah,
yep, I know the feeling.
it sucks. Sorry, what's your low?
My low this week has been life is just chaotic right now on my end.
Yeah.
I just got a lot of things going on. One, I'm trying to finish up all these graduation orders that I had. For anyone who doesn't know, like I do a lot of crafting. So I had a bunch of leis and ribbons and just a ton of stuff to make. And I'm like, not done. I'm almost there. But I had like over 100 items that I had to like make. And so it's finally
Damn.
coming to a close with one last minute order that I'll finish up tomorrow.
That's a
So
boss move though, man.
Yeah.
yeah. So like it's just with that and home life and the kids, my daughter's been like overly emotional the
You're not
last
putting those kids to work and making
few
those lace too?
days. Huh?
I said, you're not putting those kids to work and making the lace too? I'd make a
No.
factory out of that. Like,
No.
girl.
No.
There
You
are
wanna-
child labor laws, Bianca Rose. No,
Right.
You
You wanna
get
have
reported.
because my kids will get bored very easily and be like, I'm not doing this. But yeah, my daughter's been like overly emotional. Then my period's coming. Like it's just been a week. So
Yeah.
I actually went to bed at like 6 o'clock last night. That's how exhausted I was.
Aw,
So
Mm.
that sucks.
yeah, it's just been a week.
It sounds like we've all just had a week.
Mm-hmm.
It's been
Pretty
catching
much.
up.
Yeah, this Wednesday to Wednesday was rough. Real quick, we've had a couple comments, couple that have popped up on the screen already. Oh, I thought it was messing up. Yeah, it was. It's not working for some reason today. So, but shout out to our regulars, Jada Contessa, Michelle, Unk. You know, they went and they're watching us from Facebook and YouTube. So love you guys.
I love when people find us.
I
Mm.
know. They
We're
found
lucky.
Gary Anderson said, "Hello, daughter. This is my father-in-law. Hi, Dad."
Hi, father-in-law.
And then
Hi, Ben.
Unk said he gets like that when he drinks. He put that up there when we were talking about, Groundhog Day.
Yeah.
Oh man, but yeah, it's been rough. But let's switch to a positive note, right? Let's switch over to our highs. So Bianca, what's your high for the week?
My high is still with the same answer. I had a very busy weekend, but it was eventful. So I went to go see Moulin Rouge in theater. That was a fun little play. Try not to sing along because the songs are very catchy.
I would've been
And
singing along.
then I went to a graduation pool party. And I know I am not one of the kids, but I sure did act like one. So that's always fun. Except I'm legally able to drink and have more fun than they are.
This
So
is a fact. This is a fact.
it was definitely fun.
Yeah.
Plus, I befriended Teresa's daughter,
Oh,
and
yes.
that's a win for me because she's very shy. So
Let's just call her what she is. She is very antisocial
Mhm.
and very
Very.
reserved. So yeah, she even spoke to Nikita a little bit
yeah,
that day. That was actually my high too. Was Michelle's son's graduation. Congratulations,
congrats. Yeah,
Aiden. I have to say though, just to be a little like different, because we both went to the same party. I think my highlight of the day was actually watching Michelle's son singing karaoke and stuff, because this kid, that's probably the most I've ever seen him speak in one time in the 8 years that I've known them. So
I
it
love
was
that
great. Yeah.
because I heard a couple of the people at the party also say the same thing, where they're like, "This is the most I've heard him talk," and not just talk. He sang. He sang his little heart out. He belted Frank
Frank
Sinatra, and we're like,
Sinatra.
"Okay,
Think of Frank
sir. I
Sinatra.
didn't even know you knew him, but okay, go off." He was probably trying to show off in front of those cute little girls he had over. It's like,
Mhm. We see
to be
you,
young
Aiden.
again. I
No,
love
just
it.
kidding. Yes, but it was a time. It was a time. Shari, what's your high for the week?
My high is this is our last full week of school.
Oh,
Oh,
yes.
dang. Y'all still in school?
Yeah, so last day is the 11th. But tomorrow is our first day of half days, and then we have half days for the rest of the year. So I will take that and run with it. I'm excited. It's the last full week, and these kids can go home to their parents next week and not bother me.
Honestly, I don't know how you do it.
That's crazy. That's
Oh,
like half days
think
during
I'm-
the last week of school?
huh?
Mhm.
Like half days? I've never heard of the school do that.
Oh, yeah, they do that a
So
lot in California.
our half days are normally on Thursdays, but since tomorrow's Thursday, so we'll start them, and then the rest of the school year will be out
Dang.
early. So
That's cool.
yeah, I will take that win where I can get it.
Do you
Mhm.
see kids typically like? Because to me, if it's a half day, then it's a full day off to me. Like I would just not go to school at that point. So do you
No,
see like a declining kids just like they're like, nah, we're done.
you used to see like the dip off, like on that day, like less kids would show up, but they actually show up now, which I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. But I guess parents are tired of probably getting truancy letters.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, because they still get marked absent if they don't
mhm.
go. So
But like, what are you gonna do? Get suspended for 3 days? So it was like, okay, well, I wasn't gonna go to those anyways. Cool.
No, parents go to jail if you don't go to
yeah,
school out here.
especially in the state of
Ah.
Texas, it's even
Yeah.
the rules are even stricter here than over there. Like
Hmm.
parents will get taken to court and stuff.
I
Yeah.
gotta look into that if I
Yeah.
ever have a child.
Don't have kids if you're not ready.
Because my like siblings would swindle my mom into be like, "Mom, I'll clean the whole house if I don't gotta go to school." And she's
Yeah,
like,
but times are different,
"Okay."
you
Yeah.
know?
But it's like, but what I don't know what the limit is because they seem to be doing that a lot. I'm like, I didn't know y'all were a maid service because all of a sudden y'all be cleaning the houses every day.
No, like my daughter's elementary school, when she was still in elementary school, like if you hadn't like 3 days, they were already starting to question stuff.
Hmm.
Oh,
Yeah,
interesting.
it is interesting.
Yes.
So strict. Back in the day, they didn't give a fuck if we went to school. I mean, my parents did, but
Yeah. I think
My mom
I
dropped me
think
off
that's the
when there
problem.
wasn't school.
I think our parents cared more then, and now
yeah,
schools know parents don't give a shit, so now they have to enforce it. It's a little
right,
different.
right. They gotta put some extra rules out there to make sure,
Mhm.
These kids is getting their education.
yeah. It probably factors into pay and all kinds of stuff for
Oh
the
yeah, it definitely does. Like especially in public school system, like you don't get your full funding if they're not there. Like your attendance has to be at a certain percentage, and it's a pretty high percentage. I want to say like over 96. Um,
Damn.
so yeah, so you have to keep your attendance up for sure, or yeah, you run the risk of not getting that money.
That's
That's
crazy.
wild.
I like going to school growing up, so I guess I wouldn't have ever addressed that problem. I'd
Yeah.
be like, "Mom, I'll go to Saturday school." At some point, I went to summer school. I signed up for summer school.
I went to summer school all the time. Most of the time because I was supposed to go because of my credits,
No,
but
I
a few
volunteered. I
times
was
I
just like, "I'll
volunteered.
go.
Yeah.
It's cool. I don't got nothing else to do. I'll go." I went to robotics camp. I went to summer school to teach the people who were at summer school. I was like, "I'll do it." I was a teacher. I didn't even know.
You were.
Hell
See,
no.
we used to spend our summers in Mexico, so I didn't wanna go to summer school, but there was a couple times where I had to. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yep. Well, today, as you guys can see from the background and from our intro, we are celebrating Pride Month.
Woo,
Woo!
woo. What's that Lady Gaga song?
Which
I'm
one?
beautiful in my way, 'cause God makes no mistakes.
Mm, mm,
I'm on the
mm.
right track, baby. I
She
won't
slowed it down.
go away.
Totally, it was her own rendition. I was like, wait, what is she
I was like,
singing?
"Hold on, wait a second." If y'all know me, y'all know I don't know words to songs. My songs are a remix to original, but y'all get the gist.
We get the
Yeah,
gist.
we
Mother Gaga,
Mhm.
she's the anthem of the month. She's gonna be played on repeat in my house, in my car, at work.
I used to like, well, older music, "Beautiful" by Christina Aguilera. That's one I used to play during Pride Month all the time.
Which
Yeah.
one's that one?
Beautiful. I am beautiful,
Oh, that's the one
no
that's just like, "Don't
matter
look at me,"
what they say.
like
Yes, that
from Mean
one. Look at
Girls.
me. Yeah. Yep. That was my
I
song.
love, like, I don't know, for some reason, I was really okay, so I was really excited to talk about Pride, during Pride Month because for some reason, I woke up on June 1st, I'm like, "Hit it, hit it, hit it." I was like, "Sashay." I was ready. I was like, "This isn't me the rest of the months, but this month is different." It's so prideful.
So prideful. So what is pride really for people who
Just
live under
like
a rock?
well, like any other celebration, at one point there was a suppression, there was a struggle, and the Pride Month is just a big celebration of the accomplishments and achievements that um and that the queer community has just embraced
Mhm.
and just be open and make it feel like a safe space, even if it's just for a short time. Um, I essentially love Pride Month because just the mood feels lighter. I don't know, it's kinda like fiesta here, but
It is a lot like Fiesta here.
I feel like it's just a very welcoming and inclusive celebratory month where it's
Mhm.
like you don't know what is gonna come out of the woodworks or who's gonna come out. It ju
Pun intended.
Pun
That's
intended. I just feel like there's a lot of fun activities that are just I don't know, it's just good feelings.
It
I love
is
it.
I completely agree with you. It is a very good feeling. It's very, it feels very, like, free, like, very safe,
Mm,
very, like, the energy is just very contagious, and it is fun to be around. I've gone to several Pride events in my previous job before, so it's great energy to be around.
I love it.
Um,
Have y'all ever been to a pride parade?
I have, in Austin.
In Austin?
Yeah,
Oh,
in Austin. And in San Francisco, they go all out. So, San Francisco is, one of the gay capitals of the world,
basically.
and, um, they have a whole neighborhood in San Francisco called the Castro District that is completely dedicated to the LGBTQ plus community, and it has been around for a long like, since I can remember,
Mhm.
as far as me living there. So, like, if you've ever gone to San Francisco, whether you're part of the community or not, you have to go to the Castro and visit the community because the atmosphere there is very different. It's kind of like every day is a pride parade.
I love it.
And so that's kind of what I grew up around living in a city like San Francisco. And so when Pride Month does come and they do parades, I mean, you got people walking around butt naked,
Mhm.
like that's why I say it feels very like free.
Yeah.
Everyone's just themselves, whether people love it or hate it.
If really feeling free, feeling safe, feeling included, feeling just out and just it's so fun. I like it. We have our parade here at the end of June, and we usually here in San Antonio, we do, a parade down, what is it? We call it the Strip on, what is it? Main Street, and has the parade. It's down the where all the gay bars are. And actually, it's so funny because I remember a couple years ago, I would say like there's a lot of gay bars, or not there's not a lot of lesbian bars. Or at
Mm,
least like just well-known ones.
mhm.
If you go down to the strip, then it's gay bar, gay bar, gay bar. And I'm like, yes, yes, yes. But I'm like, where are the lesbians at? Where are the women?
Yeah,
Come here.
yeah.
But now they started opening up, on the strip too, so it's like, oh, you can see, like, the different, like, aesthetics and everything, and
Mhm.
it's so fun.
Yeah. So just to back up a little bit as far as the community goes, for people who are learning, things like that, like, we're not here first and foremost to speak for the community as a whole, but we are here to try to kinda learn with one another, whether you're a part of the community, whether you're just an ally, or whether you're just looking to, like, be open to learning. That's kind of what we want to focus the energy on here. Again, we don't wanna speak for anybody, but we're all here to just get better at showing up for each other no matter
Mm,
what you
mhm.
identify as. So with that said, like, B, can you give us a little bit of a breakdown on what LGBTQ plus is? I always have to think about it because I'm like, I don't want to
It's
miss a letter.
No, trust me, and you've already missed a couple letters because from way back when, it used to be just LGBT.
Mhm.
Now, I think it's don't quiz me on it, it's LGBTQIA+.
IA.
That's a
See, I
lot of
missed the
fucking
IA. Yeah.
letters. You would have thought that the plus was supposed to just include everything else, but they were like, "Let's add 3 more letters."
Yeah. It's gonna be every letter of the alphabet pretty soon.
Yeah,
So they don't
basically.
want
They're
to
like,
talk
inclusive. But so there are additional letters to that.
Mhm.
Y'all know what they stand for? Or do you wanna take a crack at it?
Which ones?
LGBTQIA.
Okay, so L is lesbian, B is
LG,
bisexual, oh,
G,
LG is gay,
gay,
B is bisexual,
LGBT,
T,
trans,
mhm,
Q,
queer.
queer.
I.
I don't know the I.
Neither do I.
Is it intersex?
Is it intersex?
I don't know. I'm about
Intersex
to
and
ask
then
ChatGPT.
it's the I and A that are new that I can never remember.
So before, when it was without the I and
The extra letters.
the extra letters, when
Without
it
the
stopped
extra
at
vowels.
plus, when it stopped at plus, I know asexual, like pansexual, non-binary, and then I think intersex was one of them too. That was
It
part of
Mhm.
the
So
plus.
queer, it's queer, intersex, asexual. There is also before the plus, from
Another
what I'm
one?
seeing, it says LGBTQIA2S plus.
What is the
Ain't no
2S?
fucking way they added some that now that's starting to sound like Elon Musk child. What does the 2S stand for?
The 2S is two spirit, like the number
2
two spirit.
Oh, that's interesting that they would include
Interesting.
that in there. That's
We're
really
gonna do
funny.
another episode next year, and then we're gonna have more letters.
Yeah. Well,
Definitely.
Oh.
like, okay, so let's define, right? So lesbian is women who are attracted to women,
Mhm.
gay,
Men to men,
men to men, bisexual. So
attracted
okay,
to both
here's
sex.
where I'm gonna pause. What is the difference between bisexual and pansexual?
Bisexual is that attraction to men and women. Pansexual can mean that you are attracted to a person regardless of what they are, what they identify as. So you can also be attracted to a trans um, person as well, or just
So bi is just two essentially, and
mhm,
then pan is anything
like
anyone
any,
identifies
yeah.
with.
Mhm,
Okay. See, that makes more
mhm.
sense to me now. Okay, so we got to bi. Trans is people who choose a gender that is different from
The
the
one at birth.
identity that they were assigned at birth.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
Okay. And then queer. And then I don't know if you guys saw the chat I just put up. I'll put it right back up here. But Jada Countessa mentioned from our YouTube, I've heard queer/questioning.
Yeah.
You know what? I've heard that too, and I think that's my favorite kind.
The
I love the
questioning
curiosity.
ones.
I love the questioning ones.
Okay, but what is queer exactly for people that don't know and don't know how to use that term properly? Did it give
That
you a definition, Shar?
So yeah, it says this term. So it breaks it down. It says this term has a history of being used as a derogatory, homophobic, and transphobic slur, but has been reclaimed by some LGBTQIA2S plus communities as a term of pride and positivity and diversity. It says it is used to encourage a broad spectrum of identities related to sex, gender, and attraction.
Okay, so if you identify as queer, it could be any of
a
these
catch-all?
things. It's a
Any of
catch-all.
it. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Hmm.
All right. So we got through the B, the T, the Q.
I.
I was the intersex that you
Yes.
said, right? So what is intersex?
So, intersex refers to individuals for whom chromosomal, hormonal, or anatomical sex characteristics combine in a variety of ways that fall outside of a medical or social classification of male and female. That just confused my entire
So
brain.
basically they're born with physical sex characteristics that have both or don't identify as either one,
That combine, yeah, a variety of ways that fall outside of the normal male or female, basically.
but it is like physical.
It says chromosomal,
Yeah.
hormonal, or
Okay. Yeah.
yeah, Anatomical.
Anatomical, yeah. So it's like
Mhm.
people, I mean, I've heard of people that have both, right? Both male and female parts essentially, and then a lot of times at birth they get assigned one essentially. Um, okay, so that's intersex. Next is the A, right?
Asexual. So a person who does not experience sexual attraction or has little or no interest in sexual activity. Damn, that might be me.
I love it. Be you. It's your month.
That's right.
It's your month, sorry.
Ain't got time.
I've never heard that definition before, so that's interesting.
That's why I was like, that's interesting because I would have never.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, my therapist is actually, we've talked about it before, like when we were first kind of building our relationship. She was asking like kind of sexual orientation basically, or sexual attraction for me. And she opened up and she was like, well, you know, some people are asexual or some people are demisexual. And that was a term that I'd never heard before. So do y'all
What's
know what a demisexual is?
No.
Oh,
Um,
it's actually right here.
No, go ahead.
Go ahead, Shark.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, I didn't see that one. It's after the plus. It's a couple more after the plus.
It was in there in the in the punch.
Demisexual, often referred to as demi. This term describes someone who can only experience sexual attraction after an emotional bond has been informed. This bond does not have to be romantic in nature.
So you have to have a
An
emotional connection
regardless
before
of the identity.
before a sexual attraction, essentially.
Mhm.
Okay.
So yeah, my therapist was actually telling me about that because she was like, "Oh, well, I am asexual, but also, um, kind of like she, you know, she was very open about her dating history and her variety of experiences." So I'm like, "Oh, I think I might like you." It's like I just learned something new.
Okay, so we're LGBTQIAD. Oh, the two.
The two S.
I'd like
So
to
two
buy
spirit.
out.
It says an English umbrella term. So here we go, of course, with America. An English umbrella term to reflect the many words used in different indigenous languages describing the fluid and diverse nature of gender and attraction and its interconnectedness to community and spirituality. Why are they making this so confusing?
Well, that kind of leads me to my
My brain.
question is, if you are not an active member of the queer community, if you do not fall in the lines of those letters, how do all those letters make you feel? Because they can be overwhelming and confusing. Um, what are y'all thoughts on all of those identities just being brought like straight up forward like that?
For me, it's so I consider myself straight. So I'm going to talk about my own sexuality first before I
Okay.
answer this
Yeah, let's
question.
establish that first of all.
Yeah, I consider myself to be straight, but I have had sexual experience with women before a long time ago. And I find women very attractive. I think women are a lot more fun to look at than most men. But when it comes to sexual preference, I prefer to have sex with a man. But with that said, I feel like the letters, like the question, going back to Bianca's question, like it's a lot to keep up with. And I'm very much the type of person where I'm like, look, I don't want to offend nobody. But at the same time, it's like, pardon my ignorance, right? So it's like,
Yeah.
I think that especially like for the first couple letters, like we've had those first couple letters for a while now.
Yeah,
So
I
I
saw
think,
that word.
yeah, I think it's fair to like assume that people know what those are, right? But all these like extra, the A, the I, the two,
Mhm.
S, all of that, the plus,
The
even the
ONOPs,
plus
yeah.
confused me when that first started because I'm like, what does it mean?
So
Yeah.
since you asked the question,
Mhm. Yeah, thank
the
you.
plus symbol is intended as an all-encompassing representation of sexual orientations and gender identities. It can because then it also includes but not limited to, and then pansexual and demisexual were the two that they added on. So those would technically be your pluses. They might as well just add the P and the D in there and take the plus out, because don't confuse me.
Well, I heard that the plus is also for non-binary.
Could be.
So non-binary,
But yeah.
yeah, that's people whose gender does not fit within the traditional category of male or female, right? But I'm like, but what is that? Like, I have so many questions, but I don't have the right people to ask sometimes.
Yeah.
Like growing up in San Francisco, being around anyone from the community before was very common for us. Like, it was just kind of more natural out there than it was in a lot of places that I used to travel to. And so I was always a little bit more open-minded to the community and their changes and their definitions and things like that. But I will say that sometimes it's like, okay, you guys, you've used up like 15 letters now. Like, can we just call it the queer community? If queer is all encompassing, like, can we just call it the queer community? Or does somebody feel very strongly that, like, that's not okay? You know, maybe they don't identify with queer. Maybe they don't like the term queer, or, you know what I mean? Like, it can be a little bit overwhelming sometimes.
Yeah. And I feel like a lot of the letters, the new letters that are getting added, it's not just about orientation, it's about identity. So there, the difference, sexual orientation and sexual identity is, sexual orientation is who you are attracted to. Sexual identity is who are you identifying as. So, like you have like those she, her, they, them pronouns, things like that. That has nothing to do with who I'm attracted to, but that inclusive, and that, bring it back to the queer community, or, just Pride Month in general, is that there's such a variety of people that we're trying to include that have had that type of struggle with who they love, even if it's themselves. And I think that's a big thing about Pride Month. And I think that's why I love it so much, because it's encouraging to love who you love, and that includes loving who you are.
Yes. And that's difficult for a lot of people, regardless of whatever they identify as.
Yeah.
A lot of people think, or make assumptions. I won't say think, make assumptions that, being straight is easier, like, as far as loving yourself. Not as far as the struggle, right? As far as loving yourself. But when it comes to self, I think it's difficult for anyone. And then with the plus, I'm like, does that mean straight people are part of the community too? Are we part of the plus?
Don't get crazy. You're an ally.
Exactly though. Don't get crazy. You're an ally.
Don't worry. You have a flag too.
Yes. Do we have a straight flag?
You do. There's an ally flag.
Okay. Oh, an ally flag. Yes, I like that.
Yeah. So on my previous podcast, for those who don't know, I had a podcast called Codependent Podcast, and I had it with my sisters. And one of those previous episodes, we actually did talk about a similar conversation about pride. And they're younger, so for those who also don't know, let me tell you my sexual orientation. I am bisexual, questioning pansexual, given my dating past. So, like, considering, yeah. I'll kiss my friends. I don't care what you look like. I don't care who you are. I'll kiss all my friends. But we did dedicate an episode where, it's something that we always joke around, where my sisters would say, oh, you're gay, you're this, and that. We're like, I'm like, you don't even know what that means. You're not even using it right. And so we dedicated a whole show of just explaining to them what it is. And as I mentioned earlier, allies, y'all have a flag too. Everyone sees like the general like rainbow flag and think that is the gay flag. We're like, no, that's the overall pride flag. That is the catch-all, right? But the way that I explained it, because them too said that the letters, the flags, it's all overwhelming, because what do they all mean? And the way that I explained it is that the rainbow flag is like the flag of the United States. It's the country flag. And then like all the identities, orientations have their own flags. Those are like state flags. So,
That's a good way
the
to look at it.
rainbow flag is a catch-all, and
Mhm.
then you have like your individual ones for your own orientation or identity.
Hmm.
So it was a whole episode dedicated to that. And I think that was the best explanation that I could ever come up with.
That actually makes a lot of sense when you break it down that way. And why the pride flag is a rainbow color. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because it's including it all.
But
Yes.
and I guess I should ask questions, but I don't. I've seen like the pride flag, and then in addition to the pride flag, there's additional colors like light pink, light blue, white, brown. Um, like in addition to, so there's like one big flag with the rainbow on top, and then these other colors added. What are the other colors? Like, do they stand for the individual letter? Like, yeah, I guess I just don't know that.
So it's more like it's not I don't wanna say it's the colors of the flag that make the difference. I guess it's, how would I say? Because you're saying, like, you see rainbow at the top, and then on the bottom, it's
So
kinda
there's a flag. My sister has a blag. She went to Pride and she got brought a flag home, and there's a flag, and it's like the top portion of it looks like the regular rainbow, but then there's additional colors. Each line is an additional color added. So
Hmm.
there's like a baby pink, like a light blue,
Oh, Jada Countess
white,
said
brown.
that's the progress flag. Ah,
Interesting.
I didn't know there was a
So,
progress flag.
for our listeners and viewers, we actually do have, a little game that we can play to see and test your knowledge to see if you know what those pride flags are. Um, and we've kind of expressed what the LGBTQIA2S plus is.
Plus, plus, plus. Okay.
So we've already given you some multiple options of what they
Right.
could be. But if you're in the comments, start throwing out what flags you recognize, if any of them.
Okay.
I think I'll give you obviously the first one is that not the progressive, that's the original pride flag.
Mhm.
But to Jada Countess's point, that second flag that you see, that is the progressive pride flag.
Okay.
So, and I'm going to ask you ladies too, are there any of those flags that you know?
Mm-mm.
No, aside from the pride flag.
Yeah, and now the second.
Really?
Yeah, I'm like, I had never even seen the progressive flag. Don't get me wrong, I've seen some of these flags before because, like I said, I've gone to parades and things of that nature. But as far as what they mean, I'm not sure.
It's kind of like finding your community, right? It's like,
Right.
I just come to this flag, let's come to this one. Yeah.
Yeah.
What I love is the bigger corporations putting out their Pride merch. I don't know if you've seen Target put up their Pride merch very
No.
subtly on the bottom shelf of some sort because they disbanded the DEI or cut back on it.
Oh, right.
But
Oh.
they have like this this moving truck with two little lesbian birds, and someone was like, "This can't be okay."
No, that's not okay. Oh, real quick in the comments, Jada Countessa's going at it. She said non-binary. Is that the third one?
No.
No. Which one's the non-binary?
Non-binary. Let me see. Third row, fourth flag.
Okay,
Yeah.
so the yellow, white, purple,
Yellow, white, purple, black.
black. Okay. And then she mentioned asexual. Which one's the asexual flag?
Which one do you think it is?
This is I think it's the yellow one with the purple circle.
No, that one's actually intersex.
Oh, okay. Shari says she's asexual now. So which one's your flag,
So
Shar?
I think I'm like half asexual because I'm attracted
Half asexual.
because it says the sexual attraction and act like being active.
Mm-hmm.
The active part is totally fucking missing, but the attractive thing that's still. So I guess I'm
well,
not.
that's like I've heard I know at least two people that are asexual, and it's not like they are in relationships and they do have sex. It's just they don't care for it, but if their partner initiates it, they're like okay, if that's what makes you happy, I'm gonna do it, but I don't care for it.
Mhm.
So you can be asexual and still have sex. It's just something that you're not really interested in.
You're just doing it to do it. That's sad.
Yeah. Sometimes, I mean, if you get your kicks off another way, I don't know.
Yeah, that's okay. But no, I'm saying it's sad to like do it just to do it, you know?
Well, you can
Just
get the, I
don't do
mean,
it.
you
You
can
don't
get the
wanna do it,
satisfaction
just
of
don't do
satisfying
it.
your partner.
That's true. That's true. A lot of people have sex for that reason.
Well, I'll tell
Um,
you, my flag is the second row, first one. So that pink, purple, and blue. That's the bisexual
that's the
flag.
bi, okay.
And
Which
then
one
the
was
flag
the eighth?
next to that
Uh-huh,
is
go ahead.
pansexual.
Okay, so pink, yellow, blue is pansexual.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I can confidently name one, like 10 of them.
Okay, which one's the lesbian flag?
That's the third one.
Yeah, we'll say the third.
Okay, that's the third one. So then what's the fourth one on the top row?
That's the gay men flag.
Okay, I figured
Yeah.
that one was the colors were a little more manly. I'm curious as to what the baby blue, pink, white one is.
That's actually the trans flag.
Okay, okay.
So what I know confidently is pride, progressive, pride, lesbian, gay, bisexual, pansexual, asexual, demisexual,
Mm.
skip, trans,
Skip, skip.
non-binary, intersexual, skip.
Okay, so what are we missing from our
Okay.
definitions? Okay, sorry. It's like, okay, I got it.
I'm over here. Sorry, I have not been looking at y'all because I'm trying to figure this out. Okay.
She's really taking it.
Yeah, that's good.
Um.
So what are the green ones, Shar?
So the green, the first one, the third row, first one,
Mhm.
that's aromantic.
What's aromantic? I'm about
No
to
feeling of romantic attraction.
Oh. So just sex.
Just sex.
Just
I
Sex,
know a lot of men
baby.
that are like that.
Let's talk about you and me. Honestly,
Uh,
you said that. Can you say that louder for the people in the back?
I
Because
said I know
fuck.
a lot of men that are like that. Sorry, guys. We still love y'all. Don't cancel us.
don't cancel us.
We're trying to be inclusive.
What about
Uh,
the one next to it? The one
the
with the
one
little
next to it, that one is demi-romantic.
So wait, hold on. So
Yeah,
aromantic is they don't want the romance. Demi-romantic is what?
Is it only romantic relationship or
I don't have the definitions in front of me. I just have the flags.
My turn.
I just know Demi
You're-
Lovato, and that's the only Demi that I know.
Demi Moore.
Oh, I forgot about her. Hope she's doing well.
What is it called? Demi-romantic?
Demi
Yeah,
romantic.
demi-romantic.
Demi-romantic. See, ChatGPT and Google are our friends today. We're
Coming in
trying.
clutch.
See, like I said at the beginning, you guys, we're trying to learn with y'all. Okay. So, demi-romantic is a romantic orientation that describes someone who only feels romantic attraction after forming a strong emotional bond with another person.
Well, that makes sense.
Okay. That's like the demisexual.
Yeah.
Okay. It makes sense now. All right. What about
Okay.
the bottom three?
You said the last three?
Yeah.
Okay, so the second one in the bottom row is agender.
Okay.
Mm.
The second to last one is gender fluid.
Okay.
And then the last one is gender queer.
Gender queer. I'm gonna
Can
have
I ask which one? So, what is Ruby Rose's identity? Because I know, like, she dresses as like male and female, and she is hot as both, and that does
Yeah,
something
she
for me.
is.
That does something for me, and I love that. Jada Countessa said Demis need a connection. So just overall, like
They just need some type of
they need a
connection.
connection. Maybe don't
Okay.
we all?
Seriously, don't we all?
Don't
Okay,
we
so
all?
gender queer is a gender identity that falls outside of the traditional categories of strictly male or female, People who identify as genderqueer often reject the idea that gender has to fit into a binary man-woman or be defined by the sex they were assigned at birth. So someone who feels like both a man and a woman, or someone who feels like neither.
It's a bisexual's dream.
So you're gonna go find yourself a genderqueer.
I'm gonna find myself a genderqueer.
There you go.
Y'all
Matchmakers
Y'all
here.
heard it here, folks. I told you. I was like, I identify as bisexual, but
She said
I'll kiss my
murderer.
friends. I don't care.
I've kissed friends before too. Don't feel bad, Bianca.
I feel it just strengthens the bond.
Well, depending on who the friend is, possibly. Okay, so going back to some more terms, there was a mention of gender fluid. What is gender fluid exactly?
See, I would have thought that gender fluid was the one that like kind of does both.
Okay, we're gonna check it out. I actually did look that one up. So gender fluid is a person whose gender identity shifts over time. They may feel more masculine on some days and more feminine on others, or somewhere in between. I wonder if that's what she is, Bianca.
Maybe I could do that. I can get behind that.
Yeah. Ironically, so we talk about Michelle and her husband all the time. Her husband has been telling people he's gender fluid for years. I don't think he actually is, but
I haven't
he
seen him in
might.
a dress.
I haven't seen him be real feminine either. Oh, wait a minute. I'm just kidding.
I've heard him.
I'm just
I've
kidding.
heard him be sassy.
Did you were you guys, did you say Ruby Rose? Is that who you were talking about?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
didn't know who the hell she was. I had to go look it up.
Orange
Anyway,
is the new black, baby.
didn't watch.
Yeah.
I love that show.
She identifies as gender fluid and a lesbian.
Oh, okay.
So again, sexual identity versus sexual orientation,
Right.
what you identify as and who you're attracted to.
So she identifies as
Gender fluid.
gender fluid, which makes sense with that definition I just read.
Mhm.
But she is attracted to women because
Yeah.
she's a lesbian. Okay.
Correct.
It's all making sense now.
It's all making sense. We just needed to talk it through.
So I identify as a woman, but I'm sometimes bisexual. I'm just kidding.
Okay, so if you are attracted to women, if you find women attractive,
Mhm.
why do you not consider yourself bisexual?
Because I prefer to have sex with a man. I've had sex with both a man and a woman before, and I prefer to have sex with a man. Maybe, maybe it just wasn't the right woman. Who knows, right?
I
But
was just about to say that. I said you got to try everything twice. The first time
you
probably
have
wasn't the right
told me that
person.
before. Yeah. Maybe it just wasn't the right woman. Who knows? Because it was only a one-time sexual experience.
I'm going to mark you as Q for questioning.
Questioning. My husband actually, so I was talking to him before the show started about like the show, and I was like, oh yeah, I want to do my research on the community and blah blah blah, because I don't want to offend anybody, right? And he was like, well, you're kind of part of the community, and I was like, am I was like, I'm in I'm straight, I'm in a straight relationship, but like I've never been in a relationship with a woman. And to be frank, I don't know if I would want to. We're a lot.
We are. We very much are.
But I find women, like the physical being of a woman, to be much more beautiful and like attractive and sexy than how men are built. If you get what I mean. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love me a beautiful man, but like, you know what I mean? I
get
think
it.
women are more fun to look at sometimes.
Well, believe it or not, a lot of bisexual women are in straight relationships
Yeah.
and are very much still attracted to women. So that's what I'm saying. Like you say that you have an attraction to women. So why hold yourself back from being identified as bisexual? Because you can be attracted to a woman. Would you kiss a woman?
I have kissed women.
Would
Many.
you kiss them again?
Oh, I don't know. No, I'm
Kiss me right
married
now.
now. I wouldn't do that. See, to me, like, that's not right. Like, if it's not okay for me to kiss a man, then why would it be okay for me to kiss a woman? Like, as far as like my relationship goes. So No, I wouldn't now. Just out of respect for my marriage.
Well,
Well,
See, but then that kind of makes it seem like
maybe I am bisexual.
maybe you are, because
Maybe.
you would.
I'm okay with
yeah,
that.
you
I'm
feel
okay
like
with that.
it would go somewhere else.
I don't know. See, I don't know if it'd go all the way.
Because would you
'cause,
consider it cheating? Like, it's different if you just
Are you
kiss
talking
the
about
friend.
like playfully making out with people? I would get pissed if my
I mean-
husband was playfully making out with another chick. That's what I'm saying. It's like, I don't think my husband would be comfortable with that.
but you're
So I
thinking more
respect
like,
you.
no, but you're thinking more of like, I'm cheating on my husband, but I'm talking like,
If I
Jada
wasn't
Contessa in the
married, what did
comments.
she say?
Get the comments away in.
We're gonna need some
She
input.
tried to add him.
Because like what your mentality is like, I wouldn't kiss a woman because I'm in a relationship. Girl, that's everybody. You're in a committed relationship, but
Yeah.
your attraction.
So if I wasn't married, if I wasn't in a relationship, would I still playfully kiss women? Absolutely. Why not?
Bisexual.
Okay. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that.
It's your month, Teresa. Be you.
Gabe, but I'm telling you, Gabe was like, aren't you kind of?
But to be fair, I also think that everyone is just a little gay, even men. I think everyone is just a little gay. Whether you want to deny it or hide about it, everyone's just a little gay.
I think that's true for most people, especially nowadays. I think people are a lot more comfortable with these terms and accepting, masculinity, femininity, whatever side of this description they're on. But I have met some people that I'm like, there's no way in hell. Like, you know what I mean? Like, no.
Shari's probably shaking your head. You're like,
Shari hasn't talked about what she identifies as, aside from possibly being,
asexual.
asexual.
I identify as crazy. No, I'm just like,
That's part of the plus too.
I am straight. Yeah, I identify as straight.
Have you ever had any experiences?
Nope, don't wanna.
What holds you back from them?
I'm. How can I put this nicely?
She's like,
How could I not get canceled?
Exactly.
What did you say?
She said, how can I not get canceled? Please don't get us canceled, Shari.
You asked.
This is what we wanted.
No, but this is real.
No, I just couldn't see myself. Like, I'm not. Yes, I identify as a mom. Yes, Jay, I do. I'm just not. I just don't see, like, it's difficult. Like, I can look at a woman and be like, oh my God, she's bad, she's attractive. Like, I always like joke around, like, oh, Kaylani could fucking get it all day long, but like really get it? Like, nah, not really. Because like I couldn't see myself.
Kaylani, I'd give it to you. No, just kidding. If you're watching.
I could not see myself. I can't see myself being sexually involved with a woman. I'm not sexually attracted. I think women are beautiful. Like, like you're bad as fuck. I'm not uncomfortable with that. But sexually attracted to a woman, I'm not.
Yeah.
The best way to put it.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. We're almost at the top of the hour, but I wanted to ask one more term, because I did look another one up that gets mentioned a lot, but cisgender or cis.
So cis is what it's basically, you identify as what you were born as.
Oh.
Yeah.
I heard it's
got
an
a whole
insult,
new
though.
name now. My sister does it all the time. She'd be like, no, you're a cis. I said, no, I'm just a fucking woman. Quit playing with me. Like, she pisses me off when she does it. Don't do that.
I didn't know they made a term for
Don't name me.
people who identify. Okay,
Yeah.
so I wouldn't say I identify as a woman. I'm cisgender.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime that I've heard someone say like that's a cis man or that's a cis woman, it's like as an insult.
Cringe. Yes.
Okay.
It's like y'all calling, queer, but like
derogatory.
calling y'all cis back, and it's like
it
basic.
It was the comeback.
But like, it's like And see, I'm always on social media and I'm always here just for the comments. That's what I say all the time when I get on social media. Like, I'm just strictly here for the comments.
Mhm.
And so, like, you get on all these things and it's like them saying that. I'm like, you've got to, well, no, she's a sis. I'm like, wait, what? Because at first I didn't know what it was. And my sister had to,
Excuse
my
me.
17-year-old sister had to explain it to me. And I'm like, hell no. So now that she knows that it bothers me, she'll always be like, no, you're just a sis. No, you just go get punched in your face. Quit playing with me. Like, stop calling me that because I am just what I am. Okay,
Well,
leave me
especially if
alone.
it is being used in a derogatory way.
But she just doesn't to get up under my skin because she feels like she's younger, so she's just in that phase and that era. So anything like to rub me and my mom the wrong way, she's gonna go for it.
Yeah.
So yeah, she tries it. She pushes her luck.
I love that
I
you
love it.
mentioned your younger sister though, because I feel like this younger generation, they're so much more respectful of all of the things that are out there
Mhm.
now. Like my middle child, she's 12, and while she was still in elementary school, because she's in middle school now, but while she was still in elementary school, she would come and talk to me about her day and her friends at school, and then like she might slip sometimes and be like, well, ooh, they,
Yeah.
and I'm just like, oh, you have and she's like, yeah, they're gender fluid, or they're this, and she'd be just very cautious with like, and very aware of how she would use her pronouns when she would tell me about her friends at school. And that blew my mind
Mhm.
because I'm like, I feel like us at like 10, 11, no, we
But I
weren't,
think because we weren't put
exposed to it.
weren't
Yeah.
exposed to it,
That's true.
and like it's even hard for me now because one of my sister's friends was a girl, now
Mhm.
identifies as a boy,
Mhm.
and like we'll just be talking about him, and I'm like, oh, her. I'm like, oh, where's she? And like she doesn't necessarily correct me all the time because she knows like we've known her since they were in elementary school. They're seniors in high school officially as of today. Today was her last day, so it's really hard for me in my mind to keep up, and I'm just like, we do it all the time, and it's like I try, and it's hard, especially like when we're around them together. Because like if
Mhm.
I say it and then I'm like, I feel bad, so I'm like, I just said she, or like, hey girls, or like, but it's
Right.
just so hard because that's what it's always been. It's definitely hard to be mindful of those things when you're having those conversations, especially when you're so used to addressing them a certain way. Like
Right.
sleepovers, you walk in the room and it's like, hey girls, you guys need anything? And now it's like,
I still feminize everything. I don't care what your gender is. I don't care. I was like, she, sis, ma'am, bitch.
Bitch. I
Every
love
way that I
that.
address someone is girl.
Yeah.
If I'm talking to my male coworker, I'm like, girl.
Yeah. You do that. You do. I will say there was a situation, in one of my previous jobs. I had a colleague, and, um, I met I'll say her to start off the conversation. I met her and introduced as her originally, and, but I felt like just from the way she carried herself that she preferred to be he. So I addressed it with this individual. And when I first asked them, like, hey, we've never had the conversation, because they were openly a lesbian, but they never really talked about how they personally identified. And so I finally was like, let me just ask them. You know what I mean? Let me just find out. Like, hey, do you have a particular pronoun that you prefer to go by? And they would always kind of avoid the conversation a little bit. They'd be like, oh, just call me D. Like that was what we call,
Mm.
they're based on their name. Like, just call me D. I go by D. Like, I don't, either one. But then their partner told me, they're like, oh, they prefer to be he. They just never really talk about it. And I'm like, oh, okay. And that's when I started like he. Or I would say they or them, just to kind of help me
Yeah.
not.
That they them is a good
Mhm.
catch-all for it regardless,
Yeah.
because even if I'm addressing someone in a work email and I don't know what their gender is, in my emails, I'm always like, "Oh, well, they are gonna do this." So, "Oh, I did
Mhm.
this for them." I very much try to generalize the pronouns just so I don't offend someone, because I'm like, it's a catch-all for me. It's a safe bet.
It is.
But to your point, I kind of know what you mean by, like, when you said, like, oh, they actually, I prefer he, but they don't know. They don't, it's kind of like they don't know how you are going to react to that.
Right.
So there's that hesitation of how to
Mhm.
tell you what their preference is.
Yeah.
So I think that's like a big thing that we have started progressing towards, to be more aware of, more conscious of.
Mhm.
Um, and also, again, being more safe to say, like, oh, this is what I prefer to go by. I feel like I've seen a lot of companies address like the pronouns of, like, hey, whenever you get on WebEx or Zoom or Teams or any of those chats, you do have those options of, like, oh, what are your pronouns?
Mhm.
So, like, regardless, and I think that's really cool that we're progressing to that, so that we can actually create that environment of making it a norm. Like, it's cool, it's fine.
Just make it a
Um,
safe space.
yeah.
Yeah. No, we're at the top of the hour now, so I'm gonna start kind of wrapping this up.
You know what? But you realize we're not on Instagram, so they're not gonna cut us off, but I think that's really cool. I was a little hesitant at first that we were reaching the hour, and then I
Yeah.
realized we're not on Instagram.
Me too. I started getting towards that,
This is
like,
okay,
mark,
but
and I was like, "Oh, wait, we're good." But yeah, I still wanna kind of wrap things up here. I think this was a great conversation. I think I'm very glad that we had an open, honest conversation, especially being that we didn't know all the definitions. We didn't know all the flags. We didn't know, we came into that very honest and very transparent. And hopefully, people watching or listening are learning something along with us in this little process of this episode today. And happy Pride Month,
happy
bitches!
Pride.
Oh,
Be
going
out,
back
be
to what you
proud.
said though, B, Jada Contessa said, "Guilty as well in the world. We all, sis." When you were
We're all
talking
safe.
about everyone's female.
Yep,
You were
everyone's female.
yeah. Actually, all my cars are always girls too.
I
I
have
refer
to be
to all
careful
my
with it
vehicles
because
as
I've
girls.
gone up to our CIO before and be like, "Hey, girl, that's a man," and I think he's kind of
He's
he's
getting
over
to know
it.
you a little
He
better.
He's over
yeah,
it.
now.
He
This
he's
is the
getting
same
to
guy that
know
I
Bianca.
went up to him and was like, "Are you a feminist? Yes or no? Because I
Yes.
need a tampon."
She literally said this to our CIO, our chief chief
Information officer?
information officer. Yeah.
Yeah,
I was like, "Oh my god, Bianca's gonna get us all
and he's
fired."
still not over it. He's like, I can't believe you even asked me that question." I'm like, "I can't believe you didn't. I can't believe you hesitated."
Yeah. She literally walked up to him for no hesitation. "Are you a feminist?" I was like,
We're progressive around here.
"I wish she means her." No, just kidding. No, but thank you guys for joining in me learning a lot of shit today, because I definitely did. Thank you to those who were, yes, for informatics. Thank you,
Dramatic.
Jada Countessa. I was like,
It's LGBTQIA plus 2SS plus all over again. I don't know what CIO
what the
means.
hell's that
Too many
IB?
letters.
Intersex. I'm just kidding. Chief Intersex Officer. Just kidding. But yeah, thank you guys for going on this journey with us and learning a little bit more, not just about us, but about the LGBTQIA2S plus community.
Hey.
Got it.
And there's a D in there somewhere. I'm just kidding.
It's a plus.
It's part of the plus.
Yes.
But thanks for learning with us. If anyone is out there and they want to find us or follow us or subscribe to us, Bianca, how can they do it?
If they have not already, then they can like, follow, and subscribe to us on our social media. That's Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram at It's No Secret Podcast, and our TikTok as well at It's No Secret Podcast Live. And if you can't join us on Wednesday's live streaming, then you can definitely listen to us on Spotify and Apple every Sunday.
Woo woo. Again,
That was
before
a
we close
mouthful.
out, sorry to our IG folks. We'll promise we'll be back.
No. Boo. We'll be back.
And until next time, remember, it's no secret.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, bitches.